You ever see that shiny 6.2-liter badge and feel your brain whisper, "Do it! You only live once?" Yeah, me too. But GM just pulled a quiet move that kills the 6.2's biggest advantage for most buyers, and it's not in the brochure. Real world? The 5.3 with the current 10-speed tune is running so close on highway MPG and daily drivability that paying thousands more for the 6.2 now looks like a badge tax. Today, I'm going to prove it with simple numbers you can repeat at any dealer. Then give you a clean decision rule so you don't regret your truck 2 payments from now. Let's start with the story everyone repeats. 6.2 is the king. Power-wise, sure. 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet, and it moves out when you ask. The 5.3 is 355 horsepower and 383 pound-feet, and for years it carried the good but not great label. That used to be the end of the argument. But here's the catch. GM's 10-speed pairing and calibration on the 5.3 got really smart. Closer ratios keep it in the meat of the band, and DFM, the skip-fire cylinder deactivation, pulls tiny efficiency wins anytime you're cruising steady. What that means for you is simple. The old seat-of-the-pants gap shrank, and the pump receipt started telling a different story. On paper, a bunch of trims show the same combined EPA rating for both engines. In the real world, at a steady 75, the 5.3 can clock around 21 miles per gallon, while the 6.2 hangs closer to 19 in comparable setups. 2 miles per gallon doesn't sound like much until you pay for it every week. And the twist? Octane. GM recommends premium for full performance in the 6.2. Yes, it's happy on 87 with reduced output, but most owners who wanted the big motor don't want to run it neutered, especially in heat or with a trailer. Meanwhile, the 5.3 is perfectly content on regular. Do the quick pump math with me. Say regular's $3.60 and premium's $4.20. Drive 15,000 miles a year. At 21 miles per gallon, the 5.3 drinks about 714 gallons, roughly $2,570 a year. At 19 miles per gallon, the 6.2 drinks about 789 gallons. On premium, that's roughly $3,315. You're looking at a $745 swing per year, just on fuel in a steady-state scenario. Even if your numbers move a little with tires or altitude, the pattern holds. Now throw in the option price. In like-for-like trims, the 6.2 can add around $3 grand to the sticker before destination, taxes, and dock fees. That's the first aha. You're paying more upfront and more every mile for a feeling you might use a couple times a month. If math like that keeps your money in your pocket, subscribe. I'll keep bringing receipts before opinions, and you'll never buy a truck based on forum folklore again. But the 6.2 is way quicker. Absolutely. If you live in the top third of the pedal. The 6.2 can knock down a mid-5-second 0 to 60 in the right trim. The 5.3 will be a half second or so behind. The question is how often you actually need that. Passing on a 2-lane is real. Merging hard with a trailer is real. But daily life? The 10-speed let the 5.3 keep shorter gears on tap without feeling busy, and it behaves like a bigger engine at part throttle because it's almost always in the right ratio. That's the second aha. Drivability got upgraded while nobody was looking. The old 8-speed gap is not today's 10-speed reality. Now city versus highway. In town, both drop because you're moving mass and stopping it. On the highway, the 5.3's DFM and gearing advantage show up. That's why the real MPG test blows up arguments. Same route, same day, same tires. You'll see the 5.3 quietly walk away on fuel. And if you want to stack the deck fairly, keep axle ratios, bed, and cab consistent. The point isn't to trick the 6.2, it's to stop guessing. Let's talk cost per mile, because that's where this turns into real money. If you keep a truck 5 years at 15,000 miles per year, that $745 annual fuel delta is about $3,700. Stack the typical $3,000 engine option upcharge, and you're at $6,700 in total big motor tax before you've bought 1 bottle of premium for your lawnmower. If the 6.2 gives you actual value, heavy towing in mountains, frequent high-speed passing with payload, pay it proudly. If you don't live in that use case, you're lighting money for a sound you can barely hear over AT tires. Here's the part nobody likes bringing up. Running 87 in the 6.2 to save money turns your 6.2 into less of a 6.2. The knock sensors will pull timing to protect the engine. You'll still have a strong truck, but the reason you paid extra just got partially put away. If you're the person who will pay premium every time because you value the full hit, cool, own it. If you're not, the 5.3 saves you up front and never asks for more at the pump. Okay, Joe, but what about reliability? DFM lifters, all that. Fair to mention, both engines use modern lifter tech. The 5.3's headline problems over the years were never some unstoppable plague, but yeah, there are horror stories. Here's how I frame it. Buy the powertrain you can afford to feed and maintain the way it was designed. Cutting corners with Octane on the 6.2 because gas is high is like buying a high-compression sports car and then complaining it pings. Feed it right or don't pay the upcharge. The 5.3 asks for regular, runs great on it, and these 10 speeds with better software are a massive step up from the old days. Let's do a quick real-world tiebreaker: towing behavior. If you tow over 7,500 pounds regularly, live at altitude, and want the shortest time at watt and grades, the 6.2's torque wins you peace of mind. That is a legit use case. But if your life is a 3,500-pound boat, a covered trailer twice a month, and family highway miles, the 5.3 does it without breathing hard, and the 10-speed keeps it out of the lug zone where hunting used to drive people crazy. That's the third aha. The use case matters way more than the badge. Here's a mini transformation you can do in the dealership parking lot. Take both trucks on the same loop. 2-mile surface street, merge, 5 miles steady at 70 to 75, then a return loop with 2 firm passes. Reset trip miles per gallon before each. Note the fuel grade each truck has in the tank. Don't hammer the 5.3 and baby the 6.2. Drive like you will with your family in the cab. Numbers beat feelings 9 times out of 10. If the 6.2's smile makes you forget the math, buy it. If you step out and think, man, the 5.3 felt easy, you just saved thousands. Mid-roll reality check. If this kind of head-to-head saves you time or money, hit subscribe. When GM sneaks a new calibration or gear package that changes the math, I'll test it and drop the update so you're never guessing on a big purchase. Let's nail the money one more time with a 3-line calculator so you can screenshot it. Line 1, your miles per year. Line 2, your local price for regular and premium. Line 3, 21 miles per gallon versus 19 miles per gallon. Multiply miles by 1 over MPG times price. Do it once for regular and once for premium, and subtract. That's your annual premium plus MPG tax for the 6.2 if you plan to run 91 to get what you paid for. Stack it against the engine upcharge. If the total doesn't make you flinch, enjoy the big motor. If it does, the 5.3 is the new king. For you, a word on tires and gears because they fool more buyers than any ad ever has. A 6.2 with off-road tires and a shorter axle can return worse highway numbers than a 5.3 on street tires and a taller gear. Flip those around and you can change the story. That's why I harp on apples to apples before you buy. Gear, tire, cab/bed, and options matter more than the internet wants to admit. Don't compare your buddy's 6.2 on 33s to a dealer lot 5.3 on highway donuts and call it science. Does the 6.2 still have a place? Absolutely. It's the right answer when you're that 10% who actually uses the extra torque daily or weekly. If you tow campers through mountain passes, pass semis with a bed full of gear, or you just live in the left lane and don't want to think, the 6.2 feels worth every penny. But if you're honest about your life, commute, errands, weekend projects, light towing, the 5.3 with the current 10-speed tune has killed the old Advantage, and it's the smarter buy. Let's finish with the buyer matrix I give friends and family. If you will always run premium, you tow heavy often. Or your commute includes short merge windows where you use WOT weekly, go 6.2, and don't look back. If you want the lowest cost per mile, drive mostly highway, tow moderate loads, and value calm, predictable shifts over bragging rights, the 5.3 is your truck. Simple, honest, no badge fights. Drop your real numbers in the comments: engine, axle ratio, tire size, typical highway speed, and what your hand-calculated MPG looks like. Include your fuel grade. The more we share, the less anyone gets upsold into an engine they won't use. And if this saved you from paying thousands for a feeling you wouldn't use, welcome to the crew. We buy with brains here, not just badges.